Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we are going to prepare for the upcoming treasure map Gold vs Baccarat, Dice and Tanaka. We are going to discuss about my teams for every single boss and I will also offer replacements. So without further ado, let's get to it. The first mini boss will be Dex Spandam and here is my team for it. I will be using a friend captain 6+ Gear 5 Luffy, so we can completely deal with the 8 turns of despair without needing any specials or supports. I will also be unlocking his EX Super by having Sanji, Nami Robin and also Yamato in the crew. The Nami Robin and Yamato specials are not necessary since we only have the ability to activate 2 specials. These specials will be the Kanjuro one, this is treasure map Kanjuro to deal with defense up, and the Luffy one, of course, to increase our damage. We do want his EX Super for better slots and even more damage. To deal with resilience I am going to use the Don Krieg ship, which applies end of turn damage. It does not provide an attack boost to our team, but we don't really need it. Our Mugiwara 56 Sanji captain will also activate his special automatically when we enter the quest, offering more damage if we clear the first stages fast enough. My Tesoro here is not super evolved. You can generally use whoever you want here. I will replace Tesoro with a new treasure map unit whenever I get it for a higher multiplier. And Nami Robin is also not useful, they are only here to unlock Luffy's EX Super, so they are also replaceable by another unit that does this. Same goes for Yamato, but she's the most recent free-to-play Kizuna unit and has a high multiplier, so might as well use her. Pretty much the same goes for our Sanji here, we don't really need his extra damage. And we have every color in the crew as well, so we can achieve rainbow damage with Luffy. For this team, do not forget you need the Super Evolution of Gear 5 Luffy as a friend captain and the multiplier is around 4.7 times. The next mini boss will be Dex once again, this time we have Raise Max. This team is actually fully free to play and very straightforward. We are going to use the new login bonus Card Luffy as double captain. Unfortunately though he is only boosted for 1.2 times. But we need him twice, so we activate him the first time to remove damage reduction and reduce defense, but also get all of our crewmate specials back. Him as a captain won't be special reversed, so he's fine, he doesn't need a specific support. And then after the boss revives, so he can reduce defense again, and then his attack can ignore the damage nullification shield and actually damage the boss to defeat him for good. Then we are using treasure map Zorojuro, who with his double special activation will remove threshold completely. He is also strength and of course gives Luffy super type. Then we are going to use treasure map Ace, who will manipulate all of our slots into matching. Treasure map Film Red Sanji, even though he doesn't have color advantage over the boss, he removes attack down, so he's helpful. And finally the new Pirate King Adventures free-to-play unit, Mr. Gordon. He is not helpful in any way, but he has a multiplier of 1.35 times, so might as well use him here. Very easy team to use, but unfortunately the multiplier is not very high at 4.18 times. The next mini boss is Strength Carina, and she's kind of a tricky mini boss, but not that hard to deal with if we use Carrot and Wanda, the treasure map legend. They will be my double captain, but if you miss them, you can only use them as a friend captain and use another captain, whichever you like. And then for the debuffs, we are going to use Treasure Map Queen to deal with damage reduction, Treasure Map Wiper to get a color affinity boost and get matching slots, Treasure Map Hyogoro who will deal with defense up. Then we are going to use Raid Bonnie, the most recent raid, to deal with the chain debuff in the final stage. But have in mind, we need to activate Bonnie in stage 2, so she provides a chain boost for the remainder of the quest, and we also need to hit enough perfects in stage 2 for her to apply chain boundaries in the final stage. And with that combo of chain boost and chain boundaries, we can easily deal with the attack down under a specific chain debuff. Now if you don't have this Bonnie, I think that Treasure Map Legend Crocodile can replace her, activating him in the final stage. I don't think Intimidation for chain locking actually counts for chain boundaries, I'm not 100% certain, but if it does you can use Okiku and Izo, another treasure map legend, for 3 turns of chain locking in the final stage, so then the intimidation cannot completely remove your chain lock. Okiku and Izo can be a great captain instead of Carrot Wanda too. But why am I using Carrot Wanda? First of all, we are entering on Wanda to super swap to Carrot to get an attack boost, and then we are going to activate Carrot for an ore boost, but to also allow their attack to go through barriers. Because Carina gains a rainbow barrier, we cannot go through it simply because with this team we cannot obtain a rainbow slot. So the attack of Carrot Wanda will penetrate that barrier and easily defeat the enemy. That's the only unit that will actually apply damage. Everyone else is here to either deal with a debuff or provide more damage for Carrot Wanda's attack. They technically also reduce defense and the boss does not have immunity, but since we have Hyogoro who can deal with defense up anyway, if you do not want to use the method with Carrot Wanda, you need a way to get a rainbow slot and break the barrier. You just need one rainbow slot and one hit on the barrier, so either use a special that provides a rainbow slot or a support. Or maybe another way is to focus on using units with the barrier penetration limit break ability, and you fulfill the requirements of that ability to of course penetrate the barrier, ignore it and just deal damage to Carina. Either way, I will be using double Carrot Wanda. The multiplier is not that high though, it is at 4.03 times. The next boss is actually Int Lucci. I wouldn't say this is a mini boss, this is more like a second main boss. We are going to use the new super evolution of Whitebeard Marco as our captain entering on Marco. And we also want to use a friend captain, Fujitora Kizaru, entering on Fujitora. And then we want a rare recruit strength Jozu as support on our Whitebeard Marco for him to remove 2 turns of attack down when it is needed. There are debuffs and preemptives in actually every stage in this boss, but I haven't included stage 1 on the left. For reference, what you want to do in stage 1, because we enter Fujitora, first of all his super swap goes will be maxed out, meaning by super swapping to Kizaru you will get 3 TND slots to break the TND barrier the opponent has. On top of that, 2 of your units will be blown away. But because we have our Fujitora as captain and not Kizaru when we enter, that blow away will be prevented, and that is the main reason we want to use Fujitora as a friend captain. Unfortunately, this is not a temporary blow away, it seems to be permanent for the rest of the quest. Next up we have special reverse on our friend captain, which we don't care about at all. Now for stage number 2, Despair, Special Bind and Attack Down will be present. First of all, we need maximum Despair sockets, and by having free-to-play Q Uta here and her double special activation, we can deal with Despair and Attack Down. Of course, Despair alongside sockets and Attack Down alongside our support Jozu. Uta will also boost our damage. Before we do that, of course, we need to remove Special Bind. We want to have Rare Recruit Psycho Murasaki here, from the Gear 5 Luffy batch, who, if limit broken, will completely resist the Special Bind, but we don't need her double special activation limit break ability, just her activation once. That way we can remove 3 turns of Special Bind, then we can super swap Marco to Whitebeard to remove the rest, free all of our units from Special Bind, and we also want to activate Whitebeard so he can provide a full board of matching slots and more damage, so we can beat stage 2 super easily. Then, for stage number 3, a captain swap will happen. We cannot prevent it because I'm not using V2 Uta, but it's fine. Whoever out of the crewmates becomes captain, the team still works the exact same. To deal with the chain debuff and threshold, we have Treasure Map Rare Recruit Filmer Zoro, who provides a 3.25 times chain lock, removes threshold of course. And then to deal with the damage reduction, we are going to use Killer, the rare recruit from Law and Kids batch, to also provide us with an ore boost. We cannot guarantee a full board of matching slots, but we can also swap Kizaru back to Fujitora and activate him to help us by giving us a chain growth boost and also a guaranteed matching slot on at least our friend captain. You can also, if you want, use Story Vivi as support on Komurasaki, who also has color advantage over Lucci. But the main issue you can have with this team is replacements. First and foremost, Film Red Zoro. Not an easy unit to get, he's a Treasure Map Rare Recruit, and he is very important because he provides chain lock and threshold removal. No other boosted unit in this treasure map does this, so replace him with a threshold removing unit. Then if you don't have killer, replace him with someone that removes damage reduction, and obviously whatever extra things you can get like damage or matching slots and all of that from those two replacements, the better. And for Komurasaki, you need someone to resist and remove at least 3 turns of special bind from stage 2. Something to have in mind though, and one of the main reasons the replacements are hard to find, is because these replacements also kind of need to be a decent captain. Because if they become captain in the final stage and for example they only boost driven units, no one will be getting boosted, meaning that your damage will be very low and you might not even be able to beat Lucci. An issue that arises of course with replacing Zoro, we don't deal with the chain debuff anymore, and I have 3 options for you to deal with that. First, the damage reduction removing unit you use, in case you don't use killer, needs to either provide a chain boost, chain boundaries, or a chain lock, if that is possible. Another option is to use a chain boosting or a chain locking support that can help you get at least to the 2.5 times chain mark, so you can bypass the chain debuff. And option number 3, which in my opinion will probably be the most accessible one to majority of players, because tons of players pulled in the Gear 5 Luffy banner, a lot of you I am certain will have Komurasaki. Meaning, max out her double special limit break activation, activate her once as we said in stage 2, and activate her for the second time in stage number 3 to get her very decent chain boost, which alongside the chain growth boost from our friend captain Fujitora Kizaru's special and their final tap ability can easily help you beat the enemy. Have in mind, with me using a chain lock here, I'm kind of limiting myself from the chain growth boost of our friend captain, but I don't really care, the damage will be enough either way and Zoro is great to remove threshold. But the Komurasaki strategy is also a great alternative, especially if you don't have Zoro yourself. With my specific team though, and the Fujitora Kizaru friend captain, the multiplier is 5.20 times. For the main boss, we are going to go versus Tesoro and he will be strength. I will be using Halloween Treasure Map Legend Koala as my captain, for her to completely resist the special rewind for all of our units in stage 2 and not have to deal with all of that shenanigans. She's great here. She also provides healing, which is awesome, because in stage 2 we see a 91% HP cut and then Tesoro does 30,000 damage. That will be hard to survive, but with Koala's healing it is super easy. The problem is, if you don't have Koala, I'm not really certain what you can replace her with. She's actually very essential here, and I'm not certain if she's even replaceable. Everyone else is though. For stage number 2, we need someone to deal with attack down. I am using Shanks' crewmate for that. If you don't have them, no problem, just use another attack down remover. To deal with threshold, I am using Denjiro. If you don't have Denjiro, just use another threshold remover. This team actually gives Koala her super type, but if you don't get it, it's also fine, it's not necessary. These are the units you use in stage 2, Koala, Monster and Denjiro. And then in the final stage we want to use the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit. They resist and remove special bind from everyone. They will also provide a color affinity boost and an ore boost. Then we want to activate Bone Clay for a high base attack boost, for him to become Q and have color advantage over Tesoro and manipulate all of the block slots into matching. And finally we are going to super swap Carina to Nami, activate Nami, and of course from the super swap and the activation we will deal with literally every other debuff on the stage and we will have enough damage to easily clear. Super easy, right? Is it because I'm using the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit? Not really. Nami Carina is just broken for this stage, obviously it's their treasure map. You don't need the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit, and there are 2 replacement paths you can follow if you don't have them. Number 1, you use Q Anniversary Legend Sabo instead, who essentially does the same thing. If you don't have Sabo because he's not an easy unit to have, you make 2 replacements, the new unit and Bone Clay with 2 special bind removers. And unfortunately, because literally no special bind removing unit outside of the boosted ones of course, and the ones that get special cooldown reduction in this boss, none of them resists 7 or more turns of special bind without a support or anything like that, except one, free-to-play Pirate Gang Adventures Maha. Now why is that a problem? He's a free-to-play unit, so great, right? In one hand yes, but in the other hand, his dex, he doesn't have color advantage and he provides an attack boost, not for everyone, only for fighter and shooter units, so you won't get the Nami one. He needs to be the one replacement though. If you don't have Sabo or the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit, there's no other option. And the other replacement, replacing Bone Clay, needs to be another special bind remover. And the more damage you can get outside of this unit, the better. For example, you can technically use free-to-play Pirate King Adventures Otama, but she only helps you with the special bind. She doesn't have color advantage and she doesn't provide any damage boosting. You can use Rare Recruit Mr. Gordon instead, the Q one, who not only is able to remove the rest of the special bind from everyone, he is also Q, he has color advantage over Tesoro, and fighter, meaning he gets the attack boost from Maha. So he's a great option, but maybe there's a better one for you depending on your box. Essentially, to sum everything up, you are going to use the attack down and threshold removers, Monster and Denjiro, alongside Koala's special and super type if possible in stage 2, and then the super swap and special of your friend captain alongside the special bind removers in the final stage. With my specific team though and the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit, the multiplier of this team is 9.47 times. For the Intrusion Battle, I will actually showcase my team exactly and offer you replacements, since we have it as a test run right now available in Extra Island. Our captain is Treasure Map Legend Sanji, who is awesome for this, and our friend captain Nami and Carina, because they make this extremely easy. We want to enter on Carina. We want to use Treasure Map Wiper for matching slots in the final stage a color affinity boost and because he is Q and gets the attack boost from Sanji. Then we want to use the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit, they resist and remove special bind in stage 2. Killer removes damage reduction, and finally Drake will deal with the barrier in the final stage. The reason Sanji is awesome is because when we enter he automatically activates his special, providing a 4-turn ore boost, which carries over in stage 2, and that blocks the enemy for applying the low ore boost. Which means we only have the Treasure Map Rare Recruit here for the multiplier and to remove special bind, not the beneficial effects. Meaning perfect replacements here are units that can resist and remove 6 turns or more of special bind, like for example Strength Rare Recruit Okiku, the most recent one who came out with the Isobats, Anniversary Legend Sabo, or the most accessible option in my opinion, since tons of players pulled for Gear 5 Luffy, it is Sai Rare Recruit Komurasaki with her double special activation. You need that though maxed out in order to fully remove special bind. And other than special bind, we also need to deal with better slots to beat all 3 enemies in stage 2 and damage reduction. As you can see, we still have the Sanji ore boost, not the low one, it did not apply. And now we want to activate our special bind remover and then the special to remove 6 or more turns of damage reduction. And units that can help you do that is this killer of course, Gabu and Snake, Legend Momonosuke, Anniversary Legend Sabo, or Treasure Map Legend Jinbe. After the damage reduction removal, we want to activate Sanji's special, and because his ore boost is still active, he will provide a 4-turn attack boost, which of course will carry over in the final stage, and we can even increase it with his super type. And he is awesome for that because attack boosting is interruptible in the final stage, but it cannot be removed if we carry it over preemptively. Finally, we want to super swap to Nami to get great slots and have a very easy time beating the enemies. The super swap will also provide 3 turns of a base attack boost and 3 turns of increasing the damage output of G slots. And since we can carry those over in the final stage, there is absolutely no reason to maintain the super swap for the final stage, might as well activate it in stage 2. In the final stage, as you can see after the preemptive, we still have all of our boosts, but we cannot manipulate super block slots. Hence why you need to have Wiper, if you don't have the new Treasure Map Rare Recruit, under Nami and Carina. Activate Drake first to remove the enemy's barrier completely. then activate Wiper to guarantee matching slots in your middle row units and get a color affinity boost. Then swap Nami to Carina for a guaranteed G slot on Wiper for maximum damage output, and then activate Carina to remove attack down, the enemy's defense up, get threshold for the after defeat damage, and of course get an ore boost. An increased one as well because of the Wiper special. Now attack ending on the middle row units to super easily do enough damage and beat the Intrusion boss. Of course, because we got threshold from the Carina special, there will be no problem with the after defeat damage. And these are all of my teams to prepare you for the upcoming Tesoro map. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And have in mind, I won't be doing a playthrough this time, I won't be testing the teams out, so let me know if there is any problem. Simply because I haven't played the Tesoro map in 3 months, so I will most likely be in the East Blue League, only needing one team and having much easier debuffs. Maybe I will showcase my optimal team for that. But in any case, leave a like if you found this video helpful, and as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.